It's 4 minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning to you. Yes, you who is tuned in right now on Morning Vibes with Kwambox Mbunde. And we're about to merge on KTN News, and we've got our guy from KTN News, Michael Gitonga.
Good morning. And is it too late to say Happy New Year?
This
is the first time on Vibes Radio, so
it is too late.
this year. It's too late, eh?
Mi usema hadi Valentines ndio unaweza endelea. Uendelea tu nayo. Valentines ikikaribia tu hivi unaacha.
Kwa hivyo Happy New Year. For Bunde.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, for Kwambox, basi hatutasema Happy New Year because it's too late. But
too late.
Good to be here. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Wazima, eh?
It's been
You have not been reshuffled. I'm seeing you're still sitting on the same seats.
we thank God.
Yeah, you know, nowadays ukiamka and you've not been reshuffled, unashukuru.
Ama unaangalia simu hivi umetolewa kwa WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
umetoka.
Which is probably what happened to Kinjuri this morning. But let's just get right into it. Of course, yesterday was a very interesting day. The president came out and you know, addressed the nation. And I think the country had been waiting to hear from the president for a while, because there's a lot of, you know, back and forth that has been going on in terms of BBI. We've seen BBI. Before we get into what the president said, I just want to hear from Michael and I want to hear from Brian. As soon as the year started, of course, the governors have been taking BBI across the country. And we saw last Friday at Kisii Stadium, you know, the leaders being led by Raila Odinga, you know, teaching people about BBI. But then there's a section of politicians who are like, okay, wait a minute. Is this BBI or a Project 2022 for ODM? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So according to you, what did you see?
What I saw is politicians doing what they do best, and that is campaigning.
Yeah.
So whether it was about BBI or it was about their own campaigns, they have to sneak in their own agendas, which is what they're good at. So for me, I would say they acted as politicians par excellence. I was not surprised in any way. And by the way, despite the fact that we might talk about this today, tomorrow, and the day after, they will still do the same thing.
True.
So the responsibility is on you and me, Kwambox and Bunde, to ensure that we take that BBI to Some, although there's also the question of, is it available?
That's a question. I mean, and also, to be honest, in terms of the jargon in there, you know, it's someone needs to take it and, you know, just break it down, and this is what this means, and this is what this means, rather than sending people. But anyway, that's a story for a whole other day. Right now, yesterday, the president came out and spoke a lot about the cabinet. His cabinet, there was a bunch of reshuffles. He spoke about farmers. There was reprieve for farmers, because we've had the last half of last year, farmers were really crying with products that wasn't being sold. And then something for the musicians. So we're just going to round that up. Here's what, in case you missed it, this is what the president said.
With just 31 months remaining to the end of his tenure, President Uhuru Kenyatta has moved to consolidate and cement his legacy. The president identified food security, affordable housing, manufacturing and universal health care as the big four pillars that will mark his legacy in the second and last term. And with the clock ticking, Uhuru has shuffled the cabinet to ensure key allies are in full control of the big four agenda ministries and departments. The president moved the Department of Cooperatives from the Ministry of Industrialization to the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, and appointed Peter Munya to head the ministry after sacking immediate former Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri. Betty Maina has been elevated from Principal Secretary after she was nominated Cabinet Secretary for Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development, that is key in manufacturing. Before joining government, Betty Maina served as the Chief Executive Officer of Kenya Association of Manufacturers. Former Nyeri Senator and Uhuru's close ally, Mutahi Kagwe, has been nominated Cabinet Secretary for Health, taking over from Cecily Kariuki, who has been moved to the Water and Sanitation Ministry. Cecily Kariuki's mandate was enhanced after the Department of Irrigation was hived off from Eugene Wamalwa's Ministry of Devolution to her ministry. Ukuria Tan was confirmed Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Planning to replace the formerly suspended but now sacked Henry Rotich. James Masharia retains the Plum Ministry of Infrastructure and Housing. Among the youths joining Uhuru's government to serve as Chief Administrative Secretaries include former University of Nairobi student leader Zakaria Kinuthia, who has been appointed Chief Administrative Secretary for Education. Nadia Ahmed Abdallah, CAS for ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. Anne Mukami Nyaga, CAS for Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperatives. And Masi Mukui Mwangangi, CAS for Health. The youth have accused the president in the past of appointing old guards in government.
That 7 of these appointments to the position of Chief Administrative Secretary are young Kenyans, some below the age of 30. these chief administrative secretaries, I hope, will work and indeed understudy their more experienced colleagues in government. I expect that these young trainee ministers, so to speak, will be a model to all their fellow young people and also instill, preach the high ideals of patriotism, excellence in public service, and most importantly, integrity.
All right, so that is the president addressing the nation yesterday. That's just a snippet of, the cabinet reshuffle that happened yesterday. Remember, the phone lines are open, 0719012700. Want to hear from you about the reshuffle. Do you encourage what happened, or is there those that you're just like, why is Nani still there?
Kuna wengine watu wanaangalia
so still there. All right, it's 10 minutes past 7 a.m. Remember, you're live on Morning Vibes with Kwambox Mbunde and, of course, Michael Gitonga. So yesterday, Kinjuri, of course, found himself locked out of the reshuffle, and Aden Mohammed.
I like that. Locked out. Locusts, lockout.
Oh, wow.
Alikuliwa. Anyway.
Yeah, and this was after. This is actually during what I think his tenure as CS of Agriculture. He has seen a lot. A lot. There's been farmers crying left, right, and center about, this and that.
There's been the question of cartels, money being paid to cartels as opposed to being paid to farmers. Remember, there's one time the president literally alimsomea in public. Kamwambia ukiendelea namna hii, even after the speech. I mean, a very irate looking president went to him, and we don't know what he said, but he pointed at him and he looked very annoyed. So I guess that's what Kyunjuri was referring to when he says, only my family and I and God know what I went through. Yeah, I've gone through.
All right, we're just going to open the phone lines. Remember, the number is 0719012700. But it's interesting. Nobody's mentioning, as Kyunjuri, of course, was fired, he wasn't the only one who was locked out. Aden Mohammed as well was left out. There's hardly any conversation around him. Was he expecting it?
And, well, from Kinjuri's end, it looks like he was expecting it. I don't know how these things happened, but how he had such an elaborate speech immediately after kind of leaves you wondering, was he told, boss, maze kuna vile? Hii speech ya mzee leo.
Yeah. And it's interesting. After he mentions that Kinjuri is fired, he also mentions reform in agriculture, because he releases 600 million from Treasury, which is going now to farmers and giving them reprieve.
So one wonders, were the locusts going to eat it if Kinjuri was still there?
I think
as in, why didn't he release it before?
It's because people didn't share pictures of the locusts.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Kaungetuma myself in a locust, angeza kutatua hii issue. Lakini Kenyans mmesahau kutuma selfies. Please note, this morning wame announced sasa it's 10 counties which are currently affected with the locusts. So, and then mchape myself mtumie sasa.
All right, let's speak to Isaac from Nakuru. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
As guys are great. It's a fabulous morning here from Nairobi. Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be part of this conversation in congratulating the president for what he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, although it's not enough, I expected him even to deal with this Minister of Energy. But it is actually shocking because some people who are not expected even to be sacked are sacked.
So you were not expecting Kyunjuri to be sacked?
No, Kyunjuri was really expected. Kyunjuri, yes.
Let me ask you, what when you say you congratulate the president, what exactly are you congratulating him for?
Yeah, I've seen what is done to the youths, and this is a plus to him, actually.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I disagree with him by bringing back people like Kagwe, the old guys. I expected him to maybe extend his hand to the other communities who have not been there.
Okay. All right.
But mostly I really ask him to deal with this Department of Ministry of Energy. The CS was been actually mentioned and is known for corruption, and is still sticking to the ministry. The president should actually deal with this person once and for all.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Isaac from Nakuru, congratulating the president on his appointments. But he mentioned something, two things I got from his comment. One, he's congratulating the president for... There's people who are under 30 who've been who've gotten appointments in the chief administrative secretaries.
Correct.
And that's a good sign, because we're always told that this is your time, this is your time. So it's good to see.
But Kwambox, part of that I would say is part of the story is the handshake. These are the fruits of the handshake. So guys like Wavinyandeti, guys like Peter Odoyo, these are the guys who are bearing the fruits of the handshake. So that's why they are able to get these opportunities. But still, at least the young guys are also getting opportunities.
He mentions he's disappointed that he brought guys like Mutahi Kagwe and Betty Maina, rather Mutahi Kagwe back, because he's from the old,
politically speaking, he's been there for years. And also he mentioned something interesting there, and he talks about community. So maybe his disappointment is not just that Mutahi Kagwe is recycled, but the fact that maybe regional balance may not have been realized. Although I sometimes think the president has a very difficult job, because whoever he puts there, you'll still get criticized. The only thing is, for me, and I would like to hear what Kenyans have to say, is I get confused by the president sometimes, because when I listen to him speak, I honestly, sincerely believe that he wants to do something. But 2-3 weeks down the road, something goes off. The actions, because it's not the first time we've had him tough talking, saying that this must happen. There are times he even swears, literally you're like, whoa, leo kumedhoka. But after that, we swiftly move back to our old cocoon. So I'm wondering, is this now the year where he's saying, how you wake up in 2020 and you're like, Kwamboxing is a lifestyle, so 2020 this must happen. PISS anasema Uhuru Kenyatta is a lifestyle. Lazima tufanye hivi.
I think that's what he's decided, because I think what he did with agriculture is we spent the whole of last year talking about farmers telling us how they have product, the Mwea rice farmers and the Kano plains. Guys are sitting there with their product that's just ozeng in the shamba. And now he's released 600 million, told Treasury, go and buy all that rice. So in terms of action, that's swift action. Mike, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
We're great. How are you?
Well, welcome back, the historian. I like that.
The historian. Who are you calling a historian?
Gitonga.
Hey, my friend. I hope you're not mentioning that to mention that my age is historic.
No. Yeah, smart historically.
Thank you.
Mike, talk to us.
Remember what Mutahi Kagwe did at Standard?
I remember.
Does he deserve to come back?
Well, you tell us.
No, he doesn't deserve. Well, okay. Let me start with my point. First of all, the president, I expected him to declare local situation a national disaster, and cancer, to talk about cancer. On our musicians, he should have disbanded the music copyright. Besides public outcry from musicians of not being paid for 5-6 years, and getting peanuts last year.
Okay. So generally,
he should have. Let me first of all finish. He should have asked why ordered the Safaricom to be summoned. Why Skiza has musicians are still holding money from Skiza tunes.
But now let me ask you. But now when I imagine when the president.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. Let me just disconnect him there.
Yeah, I imagine when the president is giving people, not giving, but appointing people to certain dockets. For instance, agriculture. The agriculture minister right now should spring into action with dealing with the locusts. I mean, should the president be the one dealing with those things?
Nope.
He can mention them, but si anapatia watu kazi. When I look at Kibaki's administration, that's one of the things that I think he did right. He appointed people and let them do their work. I think sometimes kuna vile tunapatia president kazi si yake.
No, but this one particularly in Kekobo, he had mentioned that I think the last time the musicians reached out to him and told them their fate, he said he would deal with it swiftly, but then there was no action. It was good to see that this right now there is some action that has been done, although from different parties, people are still, this is not conclusive. This now is just ensuring that, money is now going to be siphoned from one specific place. Artists are not going to get their money, but it's all speculation. You know what? Call us up 0719012700. We want to hear from you. Ephantus, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Us guys are great. How is your morning?
My morning is fine. Yeah, I'm heading to work now.
All right, talk to us. The president, addressed the nation yesterday. Is there anything you saw that you want to congratulate him?
Yeah, for me, I will say two things. One is giving the youth those positions. It was quite memorable, commendable. So we are just let's now wait and see how these young guys can do. Because they've been crying that they are not given any chances by the government. But now that they have been appointed, can they now show the world that they can achieve,
Yeah.
Then the other thing is, in terms of these changes in the cabinet secretaries, I think the main problem we have as a country is that the implementers who have given jobs by the president are not doing it. Because we may not be surprised even those appointments, because you see a cabinet secretary is supposed to implement the policies.
Yeah.
But what we have been seeing these cabinet secretaries want to implement what favors them very much, but they don't look at the policies in place. So we live this guy Mutai Kagwe. His appointment was quite political. Because, Nyeri people have been crying and they were aligning themselves to the Tanga and to Ruto's side. So Uhuru just had to bring somebody so that he can calm down the people in Nyeri. The same happens to Meru. When he bring this guy of, what is his name?
Peter Munya
to agriculture, he knows very well the people of Meru have been crying, and now he's bringing Munya to really calm down the people of Meru. So those two appointments were very political, according to me, in my own opinion.
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Ephantus. And that's Ephantus with his opinion there. Let's hear from you. Remember, if you want to speak to us, you can. It's Dear President. The number is 0719012700. In studio, we have Kwambox, we have Mbunde, and we have Michael Gitonga. We're just trying to figure out what the president said in his in his address yesterday. Who do we have on the line?
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning to you. This is Felix from Garissa.
Hi, Felix from Garissa. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, speak to us.
Okay, what I can say about the president's appointment is that Kenyans will always remain Kenyans. And they will always look at things politically.
Okay.
The other day, you could hear farmers crying all over about maize, milk, this, that. Yeah, then today, the CS has not acted upon this for all that time. Then today, when he sacked, you will hear the same farmers who were crying yesterday, talking about somebody being politically targeted. These are traditional Kenyans. They will always align anything the president does. They will always look at from the political side of it.
As opposed to?
They don't know whether it is for the benefit of them. I think we should wait to see the effect of the reshuffle. Then they can now look at it what the benefits. For Kiunjuri, I think he has been very critical of himself and the government. You cannot work for the government which you criticize. The other day he was organizing meetings, and the person who appointed him, the president, has already said that we now want people to if they have been given a job to work for Kenyans, it's now time to work.
Okay.
The other day he was in Embu organizing political meetings against the directive of the president. But I think that is one of his major undoings.
Okay. All right. So you're in support of the president. You want to commend him, or you're criticizing?
I'm totally in support of the president.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Felix from Garissa just sharing his opinion there. Remember, you are live on Morning Vibes with Kwambox Mbunde and Michael. Michael, What do you want to say about
some of the
this?
things that I pick from there, and I want to push back here a little bit, is the question of the youth.
Yeah.
For a long time, we've had young people say that they're not included in the government. So here's a grand opportunity.
Yeah.
And I've always been a believer that you don't qualify to be given a position because you're youth. That's not the qualification. You need to be competent.
Yeah.
So here's an opportunity now for the youth to literally show what they can do. So I think that's commendable for the president. But again, looking piggybacking on what the gentleman just said now, in terms of Kenyans thinking politically, I think we're just wired that way. And everything revolves around politics.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, the president is also looking at his legacy and those who would deliver that. If Kyunjuri, for example, was busy bodying and doing things that the president was against, how do we expect him to survive? And at the same time, we can see that the agriculture sector has not been doing well, which is really the backbone of Kenya's economy.
And he actually, for me personally, I think one of the key things was how he addressed that issue. And these are the issues that farmers had been raising. One, the issue of brokers. We're talking about the KTDA, about 25%, in terms of profits and sales, drop from, the previous years. So we have even milk farmers who are pouring their milk. We're talking about rice farmers who are just, umechoka. You're seated there, your rice is not being bought. So he actually said he's going after the brokers. And I can't wait to see this, especially for the new CS who's coming in for agriculture. That better be one of the first things you're dealing with.
Absolutely.
Kwambox, based on what you've just mentioned, right now is also the perfect time for the youth to also go back now to agriculture. Because agriculture was most of the things that watu walikuwa nasema ni watu wa zamani, ni watu wazee. And even when the youth moved into that, they were getting losses. But right now, since Uhuru wants to now also increase the amount of cash that guys are also actually making now from agriculture, it's the best time for now, even for the youth, to invest back into agriculture.
Peter Munya, CS of Agriculture. Do you think he is going to do better than Kyunjuri? That's a question. That's a question. Because listen, as much as we want to make this politics, at the backbone of it is farmers who are seated there, who are pretty much in the breadbasket of this country, seated with their product, going at losses. Yes. So I don't think farmers are looking at, appointment. Them they're looking at will this guy deliver? Yeah. Right now we have locusts that are eating the hell out of half the country's food. Eating. Yeah. I had a story last weekend. They were supposed to do aerial spraying. And then it didn't happen because they had bought the chemical that was bought was for hand sprays. It's a true story. It was in the newspaper.
Okay, please tell me you're not joking.
I'm not joking.
I'm not joking.
This spraying was supposed to happen over the weekend, but then they had bought, it was supposed to be aerial spray, but then they bought hand sprays. So it's small things like this that I think we can be able to actually just fix and get, the right things for the farmers. Call us up 0719012700. What say you? We're talking to Dear President. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very fine. Gitonga, long time, man.
Oh, long time. Mwenzangu ni nani?
Silas.
Haya, Silas, karibu.
Poa sana.
Mambo Silas.
Poa sana, Ibrahim. So my take is, I think the president alichelewa sana kufuata mtu kama Kyunjuri. That guy had forgotten his job, and he had really peleka makucha yake sana kwa politics. Na huku you can see farmers are suffering. People, Mahindi, he had a lot of scandals. And what I just want to tell him is that akwe mpole, because the more ataendelea kuongea akumbuke kuwa some scandals ameacha kwa ofisi, na I think the president is coming.
Wow. Okay, so you don't want him to talk because of scandals?
Yeah, he should just be calm and know that the damage he has caused in this country in terms of farmers now is something that we can't recover, but we just accept and move on, knowing that hapo mbele tunaenda kufanya some correction.
Okay.
So akwe mpole, akiendelea na hiyo mdomo yake. Chaka.
Okay, that's Silas. Silas there with his comment. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, who are we speaking to?
You're speaking to Gian Wahome. Can I contribute?
Absolutely.
Okay. Sawa.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, go ahead. Don't watch the TV. Switch off your TV so you can speak to us.
Oh, okay. Kwambox sasa.
Fiti sana.
Are we on the same wavelength?
Okay. Talk to us.
Yeah, okay. Now, let me first of all congratulate the president for considering the youths this time round. That's a plus to Mr. President. Secondly, let me also congratulate the president for relieving Kiunjuri his duties, so that Kiunjuri can now concentrate
on politics,
on telling us to take selfies with the lockers, and also do his tanga politics. That is a plus, because Kiunjuri has been an impediment block to the farmers of this country. Look at the scandals, the maize scandals, the sugar scandals, and all these fertilizer issues. So Kiunjuri really needed to go. The third thing is there is a reshuffle that was made in the sports docket. I think the perfect person that could have fitted there would have been Carol Radol. And I pray someday that Carol Radol can be given that post.
I actually agree with you.
That's interesting.
I agree with you, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And can we talk sports?
Let's talk sports.
But before we talk sports, I just want to, remind you, for those who, you've just woken up and you're listening to our conversation, maybe on KTN News, on Vibes Radio. If you look at the Standard today, there's a half page there that former CS Kiunjuri actually just, took out of the newspaper to thank the president for his opportunity to work for him,
support him,
and he said that when one door closes, another one opens. So I don't think we've seen the last of Kiunjuri.
No, he actually made it very clear, and he says that kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio kumaanisha kupika imeisha.
That was loaded. This is going to be the perfect time to hear what he's going to say about the BBI.
Yeah, because now he's free. Now he's going to be free.
His hands are free.
Yeah. All right. Who do we have on the line? Hello.
It's okay. You have Stephen Jogu.
Hi, Stephen.
From Loitoktok.
From Loitoktok. Speak to us.
Yeah, I would like to I want to congratulate the president for yesterday, what he did yesterday. And first and foremost, nataka kwanza niseme what he did with the NHIF terms. Venye aliondoa hizo vitu zenye walikuwa wanasema 6,000 per. Yeah, you see what he said yesterday. So the terms were cancelled. So I would like to congratulate him for what he did yesterday. But I also don't want to be a critic that ni mtu biased, but kuna kitu alifanya jana, mambo ya kumfuta Kiunjuri jana, it was not wise at this moment, because everything that is done currently, it's like ni kama kuna mambo ya BBI pia inaingizwa kwenye issue ya cabinet. Changing the cabinet yesterday to me looks like alikuwa ni kama anapigana na Kiunjuri because of BBI. Then also to me it was also very wrong currently to bring Peter Munya. It's like ni kama unapendeza watu fulani kutoka another place. So what he's doing currently ni kama ni kumaintain chama fulani ya BBI. According to me ni kama ni kufight na watu wenye wanapigana na BBI.
So unaona Kiunjuri hangefutwa kazi sahi?
Yeah, kwa sababu Kiunjuri, you remember during the meeting ambayo ilikuanga kitambo mbeleni wakati alimkemeanga, if he was wrong, huo ndio wakati mwenye angefutwa kazi. Lakini today kuja kumfuta saa hizi, to me it's like ni mambo na BBI.
Okay. All right. That's Stephen Chog, who said, thank you so much. He says that particular, it should have done immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But I want to move from Kiunjuri. Yesterday, there's a couple of things that the president, you've just had NHIF, there was new rules, which got all Kenyans, just worried, panic.
Absolutely.
But he scrapped all those plans. Also, I think one of the best things that he did yesterday was the 16% tax on imported milk.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, that was a good move. And again, I stand to say that agriculture is the backbone of our economy.
True.
As long as we are not concentrating and putting efforts towards agriculture, then it leaves me wondering whether really the government wants to, promote, to promote our economy.
Yeah.
However, Kenyans being Kenyans, like somebody has just said, we do know that the president has interests in milk.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that would probably come up somewhere, given Brookside, and all that. So, of course, people will still see a sinister move in that. However, I think when I look at the bigger picture, then for me, it's a good move.
Okay. It's interesting that you mentioned that because yesterday I tweeted and I asked who owns milk in Kenya. Very simple question. And if you just go onto my tweet, it should tell you the amount of propaganda out there and what Kenyans think about milk in the country. I saw a video of a young man who's a milk farmer who was pouring his milk out because he was like, cost of production and this and the cost of what they're buying the milk for, I'd rather it's nothing. It's like you're sitting there with water. And so he was pouring. But it was good to hear that. I want to move from milk, guys. There's something the president said yesterday. Now, of course, ever since BBI has been out, this week started with gloves off. We had Ruto saying that this BBI, basically he sounded like he was just...
He said it was actually an ODM
campaign.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of people, Commander did a press conference on Monday saying, we need to respect the president. He was just short of just, saying, hey, you need to respect the president. There's been a lot of proxy wars around BBI. And a lot of people saying that, even the newspaper saying that the president and the deputy president have a major rift between the two of them. He came out yesterday to say that, look, I'm not using BBI to fight Ruto. I'm not using BBI to fight Ruto. I'm just trying to bring 47 communities together. What do you have to say about that?
BBI becomes another very interesting thing because I had a discussion on Monday with some pundits, and apparently there is the BBI report that was supposed to come out that never came out. So apparently what we are dealing with now, according to them, is a BBI-B, a modified version.
Wait, there's a BBI-B. How many B?
But let me just make it straight on the record. It's not that it's there. It's imagined. It's what pundits are saying. And apparently, what the BBI proponents are now kind of pushing for is what was supposed to be the original BBI, which has a very powerful prime minister and a parliamentary system, which seems to have gotten lost right there. So I think that's where the tussle is. But as to the question of whether the president and the deputy president are still reading from the same script, I think it's not rocket science to see that there is a rift. How big that rift is, how that's going to be mended is what we don't know. Because again, politics, a day in politics is a very long time.
Yesterday, Uhuru went out and said BBI is not about creating positions, but chances are very high that so many of these guys are actually covering their asses to make sure that every time when they're talking about 2022, they make sure that a certain position is set aside for them, because chances are very high for most of these guys who are running, it's going to be their second term. So they have to make sure they have something sorted.
I have a question it's now 24 minutes to 8 a.m., just 24 minutes left on this show. So if you want to call 07190122700. Now the question is, BBI, of course, is something that the president really, really wants to leave as sort of his legacy. With the rift with the deputy, does BBI stand a chance?
I think it stands a chance. But I think what for me is frustrating with our country is the fact that we expect politicians to behave differently. They will behave the same way. He will stand up and say that, yes, it's not to create positions. It's not there for this, that, and the other. But the truth of the matter is he is a politician. So it is going to create positions.
But also chances are very high that if the BBI is pushed and it actually goes through, so many guys will lose out, because if you don't support it and you say, by the way, BBI is going to cost us over 10 billion, we need to use this money, let's say, to sort out the local situation, chances are also very high you might be sidelined, because guys are saying, by the way, you're not working with the same agenda that we want. So it's mainly about, if you're not supporting us, you'll be removed.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, who are we speaking to?
You're speaking to Ahmed from Garissa.
Ahmed, speak to us this morning. Uko salama?
Niko salama sana. Garissa, today is very chilly morning.
It's a chilly morning.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to us.
Now, yes, let me say this. First of all, I want to congratulate the President Uhuru Kenyatta for reorganizing his government. And I think he did that just to improve the service delivery he has intended to do before he retires from the president office. Then firing Kiunjuri, and retaining Matiang'i, that's the problem we have as people here.
Why?
Here in Garissa, Al-Shabaab are butchering people. Teachers are being butchered. Matiang'i is busy campaigning for BBI, which is non-issue to us as Kenyans.
Yeah.
Kiunjuri, I think he has word of the road and mistakenly campaigned for BBI. But if that led the retrenchment of Kiunjuri, what made President Uhuru Kenyatta to retain Matiang'i, who has failed also his mandate to bar Al-Shabaab from massacring people here in Garissa? That's my question.
All right. Thank you so much. He actually has a question. Okay. Just to also reiterate, today is the first anniversary?
Yes, the first anniversary
of the Dusit attack.
Correct.
And just in the recent couple of weeks, we have seen
a number of attacks
across the country. And so you're hearing him say, if Kiunjuri's fault was that he was campaigning while he was a CS, what about Matiang'i?
Yeah, true. And wow, that's throwing a spanner into the works, because a CS, first of all, not politically, but as per the Constitution, they're not supposed to engage in political campaigns. Yeah. Matiang'i, of course, has been caught on that side far too many times.
Yes.
So that remains a question. But I go back to what I said earlier. Politicians are politicians. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is first a politician, then the president of Kenya, then the rest come after. So as a politician, he is working with those people he knows are going to protect his legacy, if there is any legacy that is going to leave, and whatever is moving forward. So in terms of Matiang'i remaining, I see him there for a very long time.
Oh, and he was there with Rao mobilizing Nyanza, because I think right now, if you're looking at one of the most powerful people in, from Nyanza, Matiang'i's name comes up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And let's not even forget that they were there. In fact, that picture for me just was classic. Rao and Matiang'i. Because what it brought in for me was Miguna. Because at some point, the two of them...
That was Miguna.
Exactly.
Because for me, I also feel that the Constitution is just a book that they never use it. Because Miguna would have been back here. You never know, angekuwa part of these nominations.
Okay, yeah.
Angekuwa hata deputy governor. According to Sonko. Angekuwa deputy governor, by the way. At some point he was...
Angekuwa sports juu akona mchezo.
Oh my God. All right. 90 minutes to 8 a.m. Good morning.
Mzuri sana. Habari asubuhi.
Mzuri kabisa. Tunaongea na nani mwenzetu?
Mimi naitwa Marco kutoka Laikipia.
Okay. Umesema nani? Marco.
Marco.
Aya, tuongeleshe Marco.
Kwanza namshukuru rais kwa mfuta huyo jamaa anaitwa Kinjuri jana kazi. Kwanza angefuta last year kitambo sana.
Kwa nini?
Huyo sio mtu wa kasi kabisa. Tena huyo jamaa ameongea kutoka Garissa kusema kwamba hata Matiang'i angefuta kasi. Matiang'i anaonyesha yeye anafanya kazi yake mzuri. Angawaje ameenda mara moja, lakini sasa si kama huyo amekuwa tu anaenda siasa kila wakati.
Haya.
Kwa hiyo sio mtu wa kasi kabisa. Kwa hivyo nashukuru rais. Rais angekuwa tu anajiorganize kila wakati. Akiona mtu yeyote ambao anaenda kinyume na kasi yake, amfute kasi mara moja, sio kumweka muda mrefu mpaka saa hii.
Okay. Asante sana Marco. Salimia mtoto. Marco says that Matiang'i has been doing it just a bit here and there. Hapa tu kidogo. Lakini Kiunjuri all the time. Is that how we're looking at it now?
Yeah, even some statements like go and take selfies with a locust. Sasa kidogo Matiang'i ndo angetuambia go and take selfies with Al-Shabaab.
No, but I think Kiunjuri was I think honestly. Okay, we're going to address that. Hello, good morning.
Kwambox.
Yes.
I'm fine. I'm back kidogo. I wanted to correct on an issue on there's a caller who called about Matiang'i, comparing Matiang'i and Kiunjuri.
Yes.
That you cannot compare right now what President Kenyatta did in his cabinet are CSS who are aligned to his country's agenda and what he wants. He wants people who are supporting the BBI. You cannot bring people into cabinet who are opposing your agenda. It's pretty impossible. What Mr. Kiunjuri was doing was simply advancing somebody's agenda, but not President Kenyatta. So the caller from Garissa trying to compare Matiang'i and Kiunjuri is just like comparing sunlight and darkness. Thank you.
Okay. All right. He's very clear on that one. Remember to call us up 0719012700 as we wrap this up. Kinjuri mentioned when the locusts started, appearing in Kenya, they didn't know the extent of how far these locusts were going. In fact, when we had started talking about the locusts, initially it was outside of Kenya.
Yes.
And then it showed up in sides of like Kipia, Isiolo there. And so they wanted to see how far this locust is spreading. Initially, when it was in Laikipia, they said that it was not a grasshopper. It was not a locust, it was a grasshopper. And then later came out to say, okay, actually, these are grasshoppers. Take a photo. So if you spot one, let us know so that we know how far it's gone. Kenyans walisikia twanga selfie na grasshopper na locust. And it became a whole joke. But what's happening with locusts in this country is not a joke. And I hope the new CS and all the appointees get to work immediately because it's spreading really, really fast. Hello, good morning. All right, let's go to Kericho. Murgor.
Hello, yes. This is Murgor from Kericho.
Habari asubuhi.
Salama kabisa ndugu.
Haya, tuanze. Umesikia juu ya appointments and the whole conversation the president had with us yesterday?
Yes, yesterday. Yes, and that is the prerogative of the president. But my question is, if PPI is really aimed at bringing Kenyans together, now the creation of these positions, the powerful prime minister and two deputies, now what are those? Will the creation of those posts bring together Kenyans? You cannot please everybody, and give them positions so that Kenyans come together. So let PPI define the roles of a prime minister who is powerful, the roles of two deputies. Yes, are there no other ways of bringing people aboard and bring Kenyans together apart from creation of these positions? That's my big question. And also, yesterday's reshuffle, Kiunjuri was fired because he has been talking a lot.
Yeah.
He has been engaging in politics. Even if you engage in politics to a small extent, that is still politics. Why has Matiang'i been engaging in politics? Even if he has been engaging to a small extent, that is, you call it politics. Why has he been engaging in politics?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Morgor. So I think this issue of engaging in politics, I think we can go on and on about it. It is what it is. Yeah, because I think at some point everyone has seen Matiang'i in talking about BBI. In fact, he said that they're going to strengthen BBI. But as we, of course, 14 to 8 a.m. as we wrap up, we have to, of course, the one thing in this country is corruption. And did he mention something about corruption? Let's hear what he had to say.
Our fight against corruption has ensured that we now, today, fight it at source. More must be done, and indeed I direct our National Intelligence Service to undertake a rigorous review of all cartel groupings that have become leeches sucking away at the blood and sweat of hardworking Kenyans.
All right. I think it's very clear what he has to say, that he's still very committed to fight corruption.
And consistent. He's been consistent on that. He has said that. But like I said earlier, for me, it gets confusing because what he says, I honestly, sincerely think he means it.
Yeah.
But at some point, we lose the plot. Because, fine, we've been talking about corruption. This is now his second term.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning of his first term. What is it that we're going to do differently now that has not been done? Fine. We've seen a few governors, a few CSs, a few what we'd call big fish.
Yeah.
Removed from their offices pending investigations. But until we have convictions, then it remains a sing-song. Yeah.
I think there's something that the senators raised last year, the lifestyle audit bill, because all these people who are joining politics, or all these people who are now getting appointments, what stops them from being corrupt? If you get in there and you find, this is how things happen, this is how the cartels go down. We don't know how much money you came into this office with. We don't know how much you're going to leave with. Who is holding you accountable?
To use the words of one politician, he says they're good businessmen. Yeah, wanafanya biashara.
I
think this is the perfect time to say that the proceeds of corruption should be used in development of Kenya. So useme, Lang'ata Road was retarmacked by pesa za Mumia Sugar. Hii ikatengenezwa na pesa za SGR. So at least you name and shame the people who stole the cash in terms of now.
And I guess this is also the time to implement that proposal that is in the BBI where there's going to be a certain percentage given to whistleblowers.
Oh, yeah.
Because mimi nikiona mtu ako corrupt.
One very quickly.
Snitching kabisa.
Kabisa, alafu mimi nipate kitu yangu.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, who are we speaking to?
You're speaking to Ahmed once again.
Yes.
Now, sorry, I have forgotten one clear point I want to make here. On matters of course, the President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday, he was very clear.
Yeah.
He said that the judiciary has failed Kenyans and he demanded a conviction. And we support that, our President. The judiciary must give us convictions because the only way we can show we are fighting corruption is convicting the perpetrators and recovering the looted assets.
Okay.
But now the question is, if President Uhuru Kenyatta is defining court orders, how is he expecting the judiciary to give us convictions? Because it's like you are conditioning your wife to give you a baby and you are not sleeping with her.
Oh, okay.
That analogy ni normal.
It's a very deep analogy, that one. All right.
So, for judiciary to give us convictions, it is decisions must be respected unconditionally.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's Ahmed there, just sharing his your analogy ni deep sana.
Ni deep.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Who are we speaking to?
I'm fine. This is Benjamin Sparrow. From Machakos County.
Okay.
Then I want to comment about that.
Yes.
So I think this man hayuko serious, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta juu. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Juu sasa kuna venye ataka kutoa Ruto juu support BBI. According to me, what I see, there is something hidden. So atuambie mbona anataka watu wa support BBI ama anataka kuassume we are okay with it, but we are not okay with it.
What, Benjamin, if I could ask, why are you not okay with BBI?
Okay, according to me, if you know mambo ya prime minister sijui nini kwa na maana, what we want is my youth not going in Kenya to go na many vacancies in the government, so at least tukue tunaenda forward. Ukiangalia population
report yenyewe umeisoma?
Nimesoma tu headlines zake tu, yani siko interested sana.
Headline haiwezi kwa sababu si prime minister pekee yuko kwa ndani hiyo document.
All right, but I think the president should consider with this man in Saruto, then tujue who is wrong, who is right. Ama tujue where to go. This is ya tujue. Then tupewe the BBI report ni hata we read for ourselves, we understand. You kila mtu ako na smartphone ama internet.
Yeah.
Kuna watu wako mashinani bado nataka kujua BBI inasema nini yani. No.
Okay. So hiyo itafika. See, they're going across the country, so your governor is going to bring it to your county soon.
The only thing is that they are telling us what they want us to hear as opposed to giving us your BBI report to read. For instance, there's a very interesting proposal that they have in that BBI report that many people have not mentioned.
Which is?
And this is tax breaks for youth who are starting businesses. I think that's brilliant.
Is it 5 or 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah.
7 years where you have a tax break, you don't pay any tax until your business is established, which is a brilliant idea. But all that, unfortunately, might be washed away by politicians if we just throw away the whole report.
Yeah.
Indeed, there are areas within the report that are questionable. That could be tweaked. But the thing is, we need to read that report for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Serikali saidia. Tupatie report tusome.
Yeah, they should just put it on the website and, we just read
it is online, but the thing is, they also need to give us hard copies which can now be distributed mashinani because, like he's saying, not everybody has a smartphone. Not everybody everybody has access to internet. So they should make sure it should be government's prerogative that every Kenyan has an opportunity to read it. Na shosho ule hawezi kusoma nimsome.
Ekuru Aukot should have been approached aongezwe pia kwa hiyo task force, because he may also has some bits of the BBI that also make sense but zime miss out. Sasa wangepatana pamoja, at least they conjoin.
Sasa shida ya politics is that hata kama angekuwa na hiyo task, by the way, remember he was part of the brains behind the constitution that we have. But because politically speaking he's not on the right side, hawezi make.
I'm not going to pick any more phone calls. We have 7 minutes to the end of the show. There was the question. Of course, there's been this whole conversation around someone needs to respect the president, and there's been politicians who are allied to the president who are like, addressing the deputy president that he needs to respect the president, and then there are those allied to the deputy president who are saying we're not for BBI. So is being against BBI not respecting the president?
Kizungumkuti hapo ndio iko.
Especially
because that's been the conversation. Right now, we've said it's not rocket science. Every single Kenyan who has eyes can see that the president and the deputy are not seeing eye to eye. Because you remember the bromance Vinyilianza. We know how much they used to love each other, and now we know that chances are they are hardly speaking. When they were launching the BBI report, I don't know if you saw the body language there. The president was very happy, and the deputy president was looking at him like, I just want to be anywhere else. So
here.
Is him not supporting BBI or not agreeing with what it stands for disrespecting the president?
I'll tell you why maybe it is perceived not to be respecting the president. When you join Standard Group, there's what they call, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a thing you sign where you will ensure that the vision of Standard Group is what you follow.
Yeah.
The minute you diverge from that, then you are considered to be... You've gone rogue.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, how people are reading it. Such that if the president is saying no campaigns, let us concentrate on what Mwananchi cares for. Then we have seemingly, because the deputy president I'm sure would have to speak for himself in regards to that, seemingly campaigning, then people are bound to think that, wait, you're just going against your boss's wishes. So that is seen as disrespect.
Yeah, because I feel like all politics is being played around that. That, this is now how to solidify, and we're seeing now like sort of what are they called? Political affiliations starting to form. Now you're starting to see, there's those who are allied to the president, there are those who are allied to the deputy president. Does that serve Kenyans?
It doesn't. And what is interesting is that we have the deputy president speaking on behalf of the president. I have not had the president defend his deputy president. So again, that leaves us wondering what's going on. Because at some point I remember the deputy president, I think it was last week or the week before, him saying that I can assure you that the president of Kenya is not interested in another term. I have not had the president speak on his own behalf as to whether that's the...
Even with the prime minister position, has he said anything?
No, he hasn't. In fact, he was even asked a question, I believe it was by one of our reporters, as to Sophia, as to whether he's going to extend. And of course, he did not answer that question. He just said that you're the guys who started it off. And that's, I would say, a professional political answer. Which does not say yes, does not say no.
Before I let you go, of course, remember you are live on Vibes Radio and KTN News. This is Dear President. How then do we, because the president has all these amazing plans. You're seeing that he's even reshuffled the cabinet, which means he has a renewed energy to sort out the issues that have been plaguing Kenyans. How then is it within his best interest for him and Ruto to iron out their differences?
I believe it is in his best interest and the interest of this country, because that way, if they're united, you can imagine the more they're united, the more they would have an opportunity to push things together. The minute we're splitting hairs on who is Tangatangaing and who is Kielewekaing, then that, of course, derails the ultimate plan for Kenya. That's my opinion.
Brian?
The saddest thing is that the BBI is aimed to unify Kenyans. But now, even the head is confused, because the deputy president and the president are also confused and are not united with the BBI. So chances are very high that if they don't unite, guys will be split, and in 2022 things are going to be very, very totally different versus what they are right now.
For me, I think one of the key things that the president needs to do is differentiate to Kenyans Plan 2022 and Plan BBI, because I think that's where if if politics is being played around BBI, and this is something that really means a lot to you, and you're saying that, look, this is the end of my legacy, and I want to leave a good legacy, then ban everyone from speaking about BBI. I'm of 2022. Let's focus on BBI. Anywhere where there's BBI, just talk about BBI. When it's 2022, go ahead and talk about 2022. Thank you so much, gentlemen. This has been Dear President. Remember, shout out to all the listeners who and the viewers who've contributed on this. It happens every single Wednesday, 7 to 8 a.m., and we call it Dear President.
Stay with the reggae rhythm. It's the inspiration sent from the king.